What is the line between political banter and incitement of violence? This question has been asked time and again in the world of politics, but it recently took center stage when a controversial video was shared on social media by none other than former President Donald Trump. This incident, which occurred in the early months of 2024, stirred up quite a storm, sparking heated debates and raising important questions about the nature of political discourse. The video in question depicted a rather disturbing image. It showed current President Joe Biden bound and gagged in the back of a pickup truck. Not the usual stuff of political banter, you might think, and you wouldn't be alone. The video drew immediate backlash, with critics accusing Trump of inciting violence against his political opponent. This incident didn't occur in a vacuum. It came at a time when the country was already deeply divided along political lines. The rhetoric had been escalating for years, reaching fever pitch during the tumultuous election cycle of 2020. And the fallout from this incident only served to deepen those divisions, with some viewing it as a harmless joke and others seeing it as a dangerous escalation of an already volatile situation. The incident raises several pertinent questions. What are the boundaries of political discourse? When does a joke cross the line into dangerous territory? And perhaps most importantly, what are the consequences when a public figure, especially one as influential as a former president, shares such content? These are complex questions with no easy answers, but they are important ones to ask, especially in a time when social media plays such a crucial role in shaping public opinion. And they are questions that we will explore over the course of this video. Now, let's go deeper into the details of this incident. Can you imagine? A video emerges on the internet, and it's not just any video. It's a video that shakes the political world to its core, stirring up a storm of reactions from all corners of the globe. This video, you see, isn't your usual viral sensation. It's a bit darker, a bit more controversial. It depicts an image of Joe Biden, the then President of the United States, tied up in the back of a pickup truck. That's right, the leader of the free world portrayed in a distressing and uncomfortable light. Now you might be wondering, who would share such a video? Well, it was none other than Donald Trump, the former president, a man known for his love of Twitter and his, let's say, unconventional approach to politics. Trump's decision to share the video was, as you might guess, met with immediate backlash. The reactions were swift and severe. Critics accused Trump of inciting violence, of crossing a line that should never be crossed. Supporters of Biden were outraged, calling the video disrespectful and inappropriate. Even some of Trump's own followers questioned his decision, their loyalty tested by this controversial move. But it wasn't just the public who had something to say. Political figures, both domestic and international, chimed in on the controversy. Some condemned Trump's actions, while others defended his right to free speech. The video, it seemed, had struck a nerve and everyone had an opinion. And yet, amidst the uproar, a question lingered. Why? Why would Trump share such a video? What was his aim, his motive? Was it a calculated move or a thoughtless act of impulsivity? The video's content sparked a wave of criticism. But what led to such a controversial posting? What moves a former president to share such a video, one might ask? To understand this, we must delve into Donald Trump's history, which is riddled with controversial statements and actions. Trump, a figure who thrives on media attention, has often been accused of using shock value to keep himself in the spotlight. His political approach is characterized by a disregard for conventional norms, a trait that has both endeared him to his followers and infuriated his critics. Take, for instance, the time in 2016 when he publicly encouraged Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's emails, a statement that shocked many, yet was dismissed by his supporters as a joke. Or consider his continuous propagation of the birther conspiracy theory, questioning former President Barack Obama's birthplace, long after it was debunked. These incidents, among others, paint a picture of a political figure who is unafraid to court controversy, even at the risk of inflaming tensions. This recent video incident, therefore, seems to be in line with Trump's broader political approach. It's a strategy that hinges on provocation and pushing boundaries, often blurring the lines between political discourse and personal attacks. His actions also seem to be a reflection of a political climate that is increasingly polarized. The sharing of such a video, many might argue, only serves to widen the divide, fueling an us versus them mentality. However, it's important to note that while this strategy might appeal to a certain demographic, it also risks alienating others. It's a high-stakes game that can yield significant rewards, but also severe consequences. To sum it up, Trump's decision to share the video isn't just about the video itself. It's about a pattern of behavior, a political strategy that feeds off controversy and division. This incident might not be an isolated event, but part of a larger pattern. The video didn't go unnoticed, and the reactions were swift. The digital sphere lit up like a bonfire, with responses pouring in from every quarter. Public sentiment was a tempest filled with a whirlwind of emotions, opinions, and heated debates. The political arena was no different. Politicians and pundits alike wasted no time in voicing their thoughts. Among the din, a few key responses stood out. Some politicians accused the video of promoting violence, calling it an outright attack on democratic values. They argued that the video was not just a distasteful joke, but a dangerous precedent, a blurring of lines between political rivalry and personal vendetta. Criticisms were not limited to the political sphere. Social media platforms were awash with posts and comments from individuals expressing their disdain for the video. Some saw it as a reflection of a deeper problem, the normalization of violence and the erosion of civil political discourse. Others viewed it as a desperate attempt to garner attention, a political stunt that had gone too far. Yet amidst this storm of criticism, there were also voices of support. Some argued that the video was merely a satirical take on politics, a form of expression protected under the banner of free speech. They defended it as a critique of political correctness, a bold statement against the sanitization of political discourse. The backlash was a mirror, reflecting the deep divides that run through our society. It was proof of how one video could ignite a national conversation, bringing to light the complexities and contradictions inherent in our political landscape. Public opinion was divided, but what about the legal implications? The question lingered in the air, a reminder that the story was far from over. The controversy surrounding the video had opened a Pandora's box, raising questions about the intersection of politics, freedom of speech, and the law. These were questions that demanded answers, and as the debate raged on, the search for these answers began in earnest. Can sharing a controversial video lead to legal repercussions? This question is not as straightforward as it may seem. The legal labyrinth surrounding acts such as these is complex and multifaceted. In the realm of law, the concept of incitement holds significant importance. Incitement, in its most basic form, refers to the act of encouraging or provoking unlawful behavior. It's a delicate topic between the right to free speech and the potential harm that speech may cause. In the United States, the legal threshold for incitement is quite high. The landmark Supreme Court case, Brandenburg versus Ohio in 1969, established the current standard. The court held that speech can be prohibited if it is directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action, and if it is likely to incite or produce such action. So how does this apply to our situation? Well, it's a bit murky. On one hand, the video shared can be seen as a form of symbolic speech. It could be argued that it is a political commentary, albeit a highly controversial one. On the other hand, the video's violent imagery could potentially be seen as encouraging harm. The key question would be whether this video could incite imminent lawless action and whether it's likely to do so. However, it's important to note that legal implications are not the only considerations here. The court of public opinion often holds significant weight. A simple act of sharing a controversial video can lead to widespread backlash, tarnishing reputations and damaging public trust. While the legal aspects are complicated, what does this incident tell us about our political discourse? It underscores the need for responsible communication, especially from those in positions of power. It's a reminder that words and images wield significant power, and with that power comes responsibility. Is this incident an aberration or a symptom of a larger issue? Let's discuss the broader implications of this incident for political discourse. In the age of social media, politicians and public figures have an unprecedented reach. They can communicate directly with millions of people at the push of a button. This incident, where a former president shares a controversial video, illustrates just how powerful and potentially dangerous this tool can be. What we see here is a reflection of the increasing polarization of politics. It's not just about differing views anymore. It's about painting the opposition as an enemy, not just a competitor. This incident is a constant reminder of the lengths to which this divisiveness can go. It's a game of one-upmanship, where the goalposts of what's acceptable continue to shift. Moreover, this isn't just about one country or one politician. It's a global phenomenon. Around the world, we see the rise of populism and a move towards more extreme political rhetoric. It's a trend that's been growing over the past few years, and incidents like this only serve to further fuel the fire. Then, there's the role of social media platforms. They are, in a way, the new town squares, but unlike traditional public spaces, they are largely unregulated. This raises important questions about the balance between freedom of speech and the responsibility to prevent the spread of potentially harmful content. Finally, we must consider the impact on the public. In an era where misinformation can spread like wildfire, how do we ensure that the public is not misled? How do we promote healthy, respectful discourse when the very platforms that enable this conversation also amplify the most extreme voices? The incident raises several questions about the state of our politics, but where do we go from here? It's a question that requires a collective effort to answer. It's about finding a balance between freedom of expression and responsible communication. It's about ensuring that our political discourse is a tool for progress, not a weapon of division. In the wake of this incident, it's important to reflect on what it means for our society. As we draw to a close on this discussion, it's evident that this incident has sparked a significant amount of controversy. It's not just about a controversial video or the political stir it created, but it's the broader implications that demand our attention. We've navigated through the details of the controversial video, the actions of former President Trump, the backlash he received, and the legal implications that followed. The incident, while seemingly straightforward, unravels layers of complexity when examined under the lens of political discourse and freedom of speech. This event serves as a stark reminder of the power of media in shaping public opinion and the responsibility that comes with it. The incident, while isolated, had the potential to incite violence, demonstrating the thin line between freedom of speech and hate speech. It's a line we must tread carefully, particularly when the individuals involved are public figures with a significant influence on society. It's also a reflection of our political climate, where discourse can quickly escalate into personal attacks and potentially harmful rhetoric. The incident brings to light the need for a more respectful and considerate dialogue, where disagreements on policy and ideology don't devolve into personal animosity or potential threats. As we reflect on this incident, it's crucial to remember that political discourse is the cornerstone of any democracy. It's a tool for debate, discussion, and ultimately progress. But when misused, it can fuel division, hatred, and even violence. It's a delicate balance that needs to be maintained, and it's a responsibility that falls on the shoulders of every individual, not just our political leaders. As we move forward, we must strive to promote a culture of healthy political discourse, one that respects differing opinions and promotes peaceful dialogue. It's not just about refraining from sharing potentially harmful content, but about actively encouraging conversations that foster understanding and mutual respect. The incident serves as a lesson, a reminder of the power of our words and the impact they can have. It's a call to action for all of us, to be more mindful of our actions and to use our voices to promote unity, not division. As we navigate the complex world of politics, it's crucial to remember the power of our words and the impact they can have. Until next time, stay focused on the latest current events